Hi, Darren.
Hiya.
We start with the big news that Jimmy Smith is going to be back in a Yeovil Town shirt next season. He's here to stay. You must be delighted to have him back.
Yeah, again, I think last March when we were trying to extend his loan to the end of the season, last January, we were trying to extend his loan to the end of the season. It was very, very much driven by Jimmy, and Jimmy had a real desire to make that happen. I've got to say that happened again. We've had to be really creative financially, which I won't go into, but obviously allowing Tom Bradbury to move on freed up a small pot of money that I could have allocated to Jimmy. And when you're weighing up the contribution of someone like Jimmy Smith, no disrespect in comparison to a young developing player, then there really is no competition. And the one great thing about Jimmy, as we all know, is that he's always in the box and he's always ready to contribute to goals. And I like my teams to be heavily based around that. So I'm delighted to. I love him as a character. He's a fantastic man, really, really good pro. Has very, very high standards. Never allows standards to drop. Good talker in the training pitch. And I'm really pleased that we'll have another year with him. It also allows me to encourage Jimmy in his coaching career as well, because he's going to do some coaching with the youth team as part of his ongoing development as a future coach and potentially manager. He won't be managing here, by the way, but he'll be sat. He'll be sat before me.
Sorry. Was that key then, really, in convincing him to come back here and giving him that opportunity for a bit of coaching as well?
I think it was something that I encouraged, and I had to be creative. Like I said, we're trying to muster up, I suppose, the finances in a certain way. So I think it's great for Jimmy. He's a real enthusiasm. He's already had some spells coaching. He's got strong links at Chelsea and in their academy, obviously from where he came up through. And I thought he'd be brilliant for our young players. We've got Mark Challen working with the youth team, Terry with the youth team. I coach the youth team every now and then when I'm cheerful enough. And to have a player with the experience Jimmy's had, just giving some guidance, some advice, some technical detail, I thought it was a no-brainer, an absolute no-brainer. So once we settle into pre-season and we get his fitness levels up, we'll allow him to start doing an hour here and an hour there with the youth team.
He's obviously not the only piece of business in the last few days. Jack Clark has arrived on loan. For those who don't know much about him, what will he bring to the squad?
Again, I tried to bring him in before the loan window shut, before lockdown. Really, really talented lad. The one thing we don't know about Jack is there's very little evidence against senior players apart from playing in the checker trade for Aston Villa, and in his early 20s he now needs to be playing senior football. I like his creativity. I think he's got a lot of a Tilly type player about him, which is I've been trying to recreate for a while. He's a little bit more tenacious than Tilly. Probably a little bit more on that midfield side than a winger side, but lovely left foot. And I've got to say, in the first 2 days of training, I've been highly impressed with that young man. And he's certainly got ingredients that will benefit our team, absolutely. And on another level, I think Aston Villa were magnificent to deal with, absolutely magnificent to deal with. And there are very few clubs now, which is quite sad. Very, very few clubs now show the class that Aston Villa showed with us, and showed towards Jack, which is the most important person in the equation. And they were really classy the way they dealt with us, and the way they wanted their objective to be all around Jack and his development. Very similar to Birmingham and Romeo, very similar.
With those two signings now, does that complete your sort of midfield and attacking options now, do you think?
No. We're nowhere near. We're nowhere near on that sense. I'd still like four. I'd still like another two centre forwards in an ideal world. Whether that comes in the short term or over the course of, the months leading into January, or however quickly it can come. But we definitely need another couple of centre forwards. We're okay in midfield. We have got enough creativity. We've got enough destruction. Josh Staunton is a brilliant signing for doing so many different pieces and jobs in the same way Albie does, the same way Charlie does. So I'm pleased with the destructive edge to our team. Lawson Diath will be like a new signing, brilliant creativity. Worthington grew so much last year, and of course Charlie himself. So we're in good shape, very good shape.
Obviously, without going into specifics and names, what areas and what other clubs are you looking? Where are you looking to strengthen? Is my question. Are you looking non-league, or are you again looking to the Premier League and perhaps bringing in some youth players on loan again?
I don't think it matters. I think your vision has to be quite broad, and you certainly have to have a perspective over the entire market. I must say the market for centre forwards this year has been quite small. I know there's lots and lots of unemployed footballers out there. I've found the market is leaning heavily towards midfield players. There's loads and loads of them around, and very, very few centre forwards that have the qualities of improving us. And it's got to be to improve us. I think we could carry a young forward who needs experience, no problem with that. But I think we do need to have one, probably two, that are going to try and improve our team and score even more goals. So I don't think you can ever have enough forwards. I really don't. I think they're a huge part of your department, and a huge part of how successful you can be. And it's no shock that last year we scored a lot of goals in that division, and we had 4 or 5 really good centre forwards. So we need to try and recreate that when the time is right. It might take a little bit longer, like last year, but we're starting this year with a very focused Reece Murphy and a very focused Courtney Doofus, and I think if they were on the open market right now, they would be heavily sought after.
I think last week you said it was your favourite time of the year, the first day of pre-season training. How did it go, and how has the first week been as a whole?
The first day was magnificent. I've got this meter wheel, and I walk it around the training ground to get the right measurements in, the right distances in, and as I do it I can see the players shaking. They're shaking with nerves. It's not excitement, let me tell you. It's that nervous energy of, oh no, he's got that bloody thing out again, Jesus. So there we go. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Me, my meter wheel, my stopwatch. There's no better feeling, let me tell you.
And how did the players enjoy it?
No, they don't. They don't enjoy it.
Did they perform well in the first week?
Yeah, they've got to run, haven't they? It's pretty straightforward. They've got to run around and work hard, and we've got to get some aerobic development into them, and we've got to get that strength in their legs and that robustness in their legs. They don't enjoy it. They're not supposed to enjoy it. I'm supposed to enjoy it, and I very much did. There was there's some excellent runners. I mean, if anyone's ever seen Matt Worthington do this type of running, he's incredible. He makes me physically sick watching him, with envy, because that boy is a phenomenal athlete. And I must say, I thought the biggest one for me was Collins. How fit Collins looked. I thought Lee Collins looked very fit, which was great, and that's what you want from your leader, obviously your skipper, is that you want him to set an example, and I thought he set an excellent example.
Saturday brings the first pre-season game against Stratford. Going into that game, what are you looking to see from your squad? No
one get hurt. 1. No one get injured. 2. Everyone fit for Monday. 3. Pre-season games are. I find it really difficult to be anything but anxious about a pre-season game because there is a fear of losing someone very important. I thought that we lost Wilkinson, I think, for the first 4 games last year because of pre-season. So look, you're always at risk of it. We'll obviously try and protect the players as much as we can. It's probably the only time of year where I say don't get hurt. That's not really kind of my temperament naturally, but So I think it's important, and look, we'll get through the games as best we can, and hope. I really do hope we try and unearth a new player from, players that we're assessing all the time, and they've got an opportunity to showcase themselves to Yeovil, and we are we're a really attractive club to come to right now. We can't pay anyone, but we can. We are an attractive proposition.
And just finally from me, without going into specifics of who's going to play, but is the whole squad available for that game?
No, I don't think Charlie and Albie will make that. Those two will make that game. Both have struggled. Albie with his calf, and Charlie's had an ongoing problem with his hip that we're not really comfortable with throwing him in just yet. But both should be available for Frome next Friday.
Nice one. Thank you, Darren.
Thanks, mate.
The squad now looks terrific. It looks strong, a lot of experience. I mean, I know you've still got some work to do yet, but you must be pleased with the strength that you seem to be, the experience that you've got there now.
What I'm really pleased with is the decisions we made last year, and what I had to really work hard, because when you join a club and it's amidst a takeover, and who's really at the helm of the club, of the organisation. No one. To try and push 2-year deals through, 3-year deals through is quite tough. But I was really adamant of trying to push 2-year contracts through, because I want to build something. I don't want huge turnover. I would have loved to have kept more of the players this year. It's been a freakish year for that. I think any other year we'd probably have 3 or 4 of the players that we've not been able to bring back. But I think there was some really good decisions in that, and for a lot of the part of the season, the manager takes an awful lot of stick, but I made some good decisions. Wilkinson, Collins, they're back. They've still got another year on their contract. Lawson's, Murphs, players like that. I thought they've become almost like the bedrock of the football team. So yeah, we're okay. We're okay. It's a lot better than last year, let me tell you. Much better than this time last year. But I think it's going to be such a difficult season. The second year always is. You always raise expectation. Anything other than getting this club relegated again would have been a decent season, really, this time last year for me as manager. Sorry, for the supporters, looking at a new manager, a new squad. But we haven't done that. We've done that and some, and I know how difficult it is now to try and either replicate that or better it. And in especially in a financial market that is absolutely crazy right now, it just adds to the difficulty, the level of difficulty. But I'm really pleased with the people in the building. Again, I can't reiterate enough, Staunton is a really good signing, strong, great character, lovely lad, and he's going to be with us for 2 years. And we've tried to carry on that theme of building teams where we can actually get to know people. We can actually have a personal relationship that goes beyond you're playing right back, this is your job, this is where I want you to go forward, this is when I want you to slide in, blah 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 blah. I actually understand Josh and all the other players as individuals and what makes them actually tick and what makes them work. So I think that's really important, and I think there were some really good decisions made, really good ones.
You mentioned last week Romeo Hutman, and obviously you would have liked to have kept him. I see he signed for Stevenage now. I mean, you must be disappointed you couldn't hang on to him, really. Because obviously he's gone out on loan. I mean,
No, it's bittersweet, isn't it? Would we have liked him? Yeah. Can we afford him? On the loan fee? No, can't afford him. Would the lad want to play in the Football League rather than the National League? Of course he would. That's an easy one.
Yeah.
That's just human nature. So it's a bit bittersweet. We played a huge part in Romeo coming there. We're almost victims of a little bit of our own quality and success. And I enjoyed working with him. But listen, there'll be another young player this year. Who's to say Jack Clark isn't the same scenario this time next year? I had Luke Amos at Stevenage, who was on the path to nowhere at one point at Tottenham, and he had a really great loan spell with us, and he played the first Premier League game of the following season for Tottenham. So, and he played 40 odd games last year in the Championship for QPR. So there's always players that are ready for that opportunity, for that moment, for that platform to be a better footballer. And I'm sure there's hundreds of young lads out there waiting for a Yeovil to have that platform with. So we'll just keep looking for the next one, and that's what we'll do. I loved working with Romeo. I thought he was a wonderful human being, and I wish him the best of luck. And Stevens used my old club, and they called me several times about him and his qualities, and I was never prepared to undersell someone like Romeo when he gave us so much. So it's it's an important feature that clubs know that. Terry started it, didn't he, way back when? I'm sure it happened before that as well. But if you think of the players Terry had when he was manager here, Andros, Corker, Ryan Mason, John Abika, loads of the goalies that he had. Dan Byrne was here, and so on and so on and so on. So, I think to carry on the tradition of the club of being able to support the development of young players is only a positive, really.
Are you finding that the transfer window generally is drastically affected by COVID?
No. I think clubs are drastically affected by COVID. I think players are still very ignorant to COVID. They still think that the landscape is the same. Nothing's happened. I'm still worth X. No, I'm sorry, my friend. You're not. I love it when I talk to the agents and they say he earned this last year, and I go, great, he's unemployed this year. He earns nothing right now.
Valid point, that is, Darren.
Unbelievable. You wouldn't believe those conversations.
Yeah. Lawson, we spoke about Lawson last week. Is he still progressing well?
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. He looks fit. He looks well. I've probably cursed him now, but no, he's been very impressive in his running in the first couple of days. I'm going to see if he's very impressive in his running in the next hour or two, and hopefully, he can carry on kick. But hopefully, touch wood, he'll be out there Saturday.
So almost like a new player for you again, then, really.
He's a good player, Lawson. I can't tell you how many times I tried to sign him when I was in the Football League. I think he's a really, really wonderful player. Really wonderful player, and he's at a good age. He's a chirpy little so-and-so as well. He's got a big opinion. I like that. I was like that. And I like people who are prepared to put themselves out there and fall on their sword. And he's not only a good character for us, but I love the way he feels the ball. There was a moment away at Chesterfield when we went to Chesterfield. The pitch was like a lake, and this ball went up in the air, and I think about 4 or 5 absolute loonies, giant loonies, went for it, and Lawson just waited, popped it off his chest, and volleyed it out the other side. And there's not many players that do that. There's not many players that find calm amongst chaos, but Lawson does, and I think that's a wonderful quality to have.
You've got a first game obviously coming up Saturday at Stratford. 2 things really on that. First of all, you'll have some supporters there, which must be a good thing, and possibly the start of better things to come.
No, it's great. I'm looking forward to seeing them. Normally on the away trip, because the changing rooms are so uncomfortable at away grounds, I normally get out and have a wander around and try and talk and say hello to people, and no one ever criticises my team or my team shape when I'm up in front of them. It's funny that, isn't it? But no, I've met some lovely people that go to all the away trips, and I like that relationship and that rapport that we have. I really do, and I'm looking forward to seeing them again. If they could keep 2 metres minimum though away from me, that'd be nice.
One of the sort of traditional things about friendly pre-season games is you get lots of triallists. Are you going to have a lot of triallists? Anonymous ones? Yeah, we need to. Whilst the youth team are back and they're going through their certain stages and phases of training, we're not really able to use them. So we've had to obviously bring in a few players that we want to assess. I hate that word trialist. I really don't like it. When you see it on the team sheet, number 7 trialist, number 7, number 8 trial. Yeah. These are human beings, and they're almost like on trial for their life here.
But yeah, we will have. I would have thought 5, maybe 6,
Yeah.
There's some of our players are more than capable of doing a 90-minute game. They're more than capable. So I'm not sure we'll need to take 22, but we'll be fairly close to that.